Happy Tuesday. This is Paul, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. Glad you could jump on here. Really excited for this topic. This is using LinkedIn events in conjunction with LinkedIn Live. And so let's jump into it. Okay, I want to mention that if you check out the screen, I'm talking about virtual events here with the use of LinkedIn events and LinkedIn Live. It's one of my 5 foundational tools that all of us need to grow and nurture a business. So if you text Giant Help to that number on the screen, you'll get a deep dive. You'll be able to check out what my 5 tools are, and I'll tell you all about them and how they fit together and how they work for every single business. So take a shot of that, write that down. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, let's talk about this LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn events. And so, why do you want to do this? There is a huge focus by LinkedIn on LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn events. In fact, LinkedIn has recently updated the LinkedIn event portal. I'm going to show you a screenshot of that in a minute here. But you have a huge opportunity to leverage these tools to build authority and engage and convert. So maybe you're a business coach, tax professional, maybe you're a executive in whatever industry, and you need to stand out. We all do. We all got to be seen as the expert in our niche, and we have to have ways to build authority and position ourselves where we're the ones people are going to want to call and see as the expert. And so using LinkedIn events and incorporating with LinkedIn Live is an incredible way to build authority and position yourself as an expert. Obviously, we all want to engage with our community. And so this process is about identifying your target market and engaging. We just all need identifiable and repeatable processes to engage. You and me and all of us need to be on Zooms and phone calls consistently with the people we want to do business with. And I just see too many people that don't have these tools in place. And so the build and nurture of the business is just bubblegum and toothpicks. It's clunky. They start, they stop, they start, they stop, spend money on things they shouldn't be spending money on, and it just isn't working. So this process is also about um, a repeatable process and engaging consistently with the people you want to be talking to. Obviously, we all have to convert. And talking about converting, this is a big deal because you've got to have a ton of people in your pipeline. It's just got to be like a snake that ate a big fat, guinea pig, where there just is this big lump of leads going through the pipeline and coming out the other side and dropping off into your client bucket. And so you can't be working one, two, or three, people at one time. You've got to just have processes that fill up your pipeline, get you in conversations, because you know how it is. You've got to work people through the pipeline, and initially they're going to be cold and they get warm, hot, and then they become a client. And what is true for the best marketing people on the planet is that 90% of the people that come into your funnel are going to be long-term leads. You're not going to convert them in the short term. And by that, I mean, people aren't going to become clients right away. And, for whatever reason. And so you have to nurture them. You have to have ways to drip on them, continuing to provide, education, value to them. And this process is also about that. So this is why you do it. Okay, let's talk about LinkedIn events and your event specifically. So when I'm working with people, what I tell them is you've got to create your show. And by your show, I mean come up and be creative with a an event you can do at least every other month, if not monthly, and more frequently if you have the appetite for it and you can build it in. But this is your show where you are handpicking the people you want to invite to your event. So let's say this is a monthly show. Your show can be anything. The only limit to how creative you can be with your show is the limit of your imagination. Sky's the limit. And I have clients where they have guests on their show. So they bring on guests who are experts in topics that the prospects they want to work with care about. So, Vistage Chairs, for example, I work with many of those great people, and they're working with CEOs and C-suite executives, and they need to provide value and educate and teach that level of an executive. And so, my clients will have guests on their shows talking about, uh, you know, um, hiring practices and how to build accountability into the process, at the company. Really hot topics that really matter, and they'll have great discussions, and then they'll invite their prospects and CEOs to join in. And so that's an idea of a show, is having guests. This is my show. I deliver a lot of value, talking on myself, sharing, teaching on things that I think are important for you to know about. So you have your show, your event, and it's high value. It's not selling, selling, selling. It's teaching, and you've got to have the mantra: give before you take, because we all know if you give value, it comes back to you in spades at some point. And I'm building out multiple businesses, and it's just what we do at all the businesses is we just give out a lot of information. I'm building out a very a prestigious law firm, and we have the attorneys on our shows. I'm hosting, and we're teaching constantly on asset protection, estate planning, business planning, giving away so much information, and it just comes back all the time. People know us, like us, trust us, and so you've got to have high value content that goes out. You have to know your audience, and by this I mean, who's your audience? Who do you want to work with? Where are they? What do they care about? What are the challenges they're facing? What are the opportunities they have? What keeps them up at night? All these things. Put yourself in the shoes of your community. For example, the law firm, we work with a lot of property owners, rental income property owners, and we really understand what's going on with people who own rental property. They care about liability. They really don't want to get sued by a tenant. They could lose everything. And so we have a lot of content we put out there on that issue, on how to guard your property from unforeseen liabilities. They care about taxes. There's in certain states, there's new laws. In California, Prop 19 passed. So there's a lot of information about that. It's a horrible law for rental property owners. So we're constantly educating on these hot issues. We know our audience, that particular niche, and we develop content for them. So we have shows that speak to them. So who's your audience? If maybe you're working with, you know, um, dentists, and what do dentists care about? They care about making more money than just cleaning teeth, because they don't make any money cleaning teeth. And so what do they care about? They care about, the stuff insurance doesn't pay for. The dental implants and whitening teeth and all that stuff. So if dentists were your clients, have those experts on your show. I mean, you get what I'm talking about here. Is know your audience, speak to your audience, and your show is done consistently. This is not a one-time thing. So your show that you create has got to be something that you do over and over, and you repeat it. And when you know how to do this and set up your show, it's not a massive time-sucking endeavor. It can be efficient. You can get this done, because none of us have, all day long, all month long to create, content like this, but you don't have to. And so you just got to do this efficiently and do it right with your event. And think of your event, when I say consistency, think of Monday Night Football. Obviously, we all know when Monday Night Football is on. Monday night, we know the time every single Monday during football season. So your event is like that, pick a day and a time every month you're doing your show. I go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. California time for different businesses I'm doing. And so I just, am live during those times. Then I can build up some marketing around that, which I'll talk a little bit more about here in a minute. So this is your event. What can you do to teach your people and provide value? So we all have access to the LinkedIn event feature. If you're looking at your LinkedIn profile on the left-hand side, the sidebar there, page down, you'll see an event section. And maybe you've been invited to events you've attended. Maybe you've hosted events, but you know where that is. And you can see all the events you're putting on and the ones you're attending there in the sidebar. And that's where you go and you create your events. LinkedIn recently updated the event portal. It's awesome. And so this is an example here of the event portal. It's actually, this is the same portal. I just two shots there. And this is a Vistage chair at a great event. And actually had an expert on our show. But what you do then is you set up this event, and then once you do that, you can invite your first level connections. And there's a way in the event portal to bulk invite and do some search. There's some search functionality in the event portal, so you can check that out and you can bulk invite. But the point is, know who you want to invite. Make sure you're connected through outreach campaigns that you will have had going, that you're connected to the right people, so that now you can invite these right people to things like your LinkedIn show, your event. And so you can then invite first level connections. And then on the right hand side there, over here, is where you can network. It's a new section in the portal, network with uh, people who expressed interest in attending your event. So when you invite people and they are interested, LinkedIn pulls them into this portal. And it's awesome because it's a captive audience, whether they actually attend or not, because, many won't, human nature. But it doesn't matter because you have them all captive here, and you can network with them before, during, and after the event in very strategic ways. And uh, uh, you can direct message them through the event portal. You can hype the event prior to the event. One of the strategic um, tasks that I do after every event is I will send a direct message to each attendee with the recording of the show and say, hey, thanks for attending. And many times I'll go for a call to action. I'd love to get on a Zoom with you. So, follow through on the event is always critical to the success of any event. We know that. But this is what the portal looks like. So go in there, play around. It can, it's just a great, it's a great feature that LinkedIn is upgrading. Okay. So now let's talk about LinkedIn Live. And I'm going to talk about how to integrate those two. So LinkedIn Live is awesome, game changing. It's free to all of us. It used to be they were rolling it out in phases. Now they're just bulk rolling it out. You used to have to apply and fill out an application. You have to do that anymore. The way you know if you've got LinkedIn Live is go and set up a test event in your LinkedIn event feature. And as you set it up, if one of the choices is to stream a live event, then you have LinkedIn Live. If you don't see that choice there, meaning you can do an event, but it's not going to be live, maybe it's a Zoom or something, then you don't have it. But that's the way you know if you have it. More and more people are getting it. And um, again, I said it's free, so you have to pay for it, as is LinkedIn events. But here's what you need in order to make the LinkedIn Live work. You need a third-party streaming app. Restream is what I'm on, love it. And you got to get that. There's a free version of it. And then like anything, you can, as you level up, you pay for it. It's not that expensive, but Restream is great. And so what happens is you have your event. You've done all the things I've talked about. You've created your event, and you are ready to go live with that event. Now, I'll mention this now. It can be a live event, like I'm live right now. So if my technology screws up or I stutter or something happens, so if my green screen behind me falls down, then you're going to see it. So you can go live, or you can do a pre-recorded video. So I do many of those. Clients do those where you pre-record a video. You can edit it up, make it look pretty, and then you can stream a pre-recorded video, but still be there live, chatting with people, interacting. Very cool. And so you can do that. You can also Zoom. This is very next level, but you can Zoom a pre-recorded video. Obviously, go live with Zoom as a LinkedIn Live. Uh, there's some very tricky technology that's required to connect Zoom with Restream with LinkedIn, but that can be figured out, and we do that. Um, and so you can do a Zoom. So you can, and the reason you do a Zoom is because maybe you have an audience that's used to you doing Zoom webinars or meetings, or you want to collect email addresses. So you want to do Zoom and require people to register, give the name, collect email addresses. So you have that, which is great. Great strategy to collect email addresses. Um, and so maybe that's why you want to do a Zoom. And maybe you have an audience that's not so used to LinkedIn and it's foreign to them. Uh, and so Zoom is easier. So, but you have those options. But now what you do is, uh, let's say it is a live event. You're going to go into Restream and you're going to set up the event in Restream. It's a choice there. You set it up, and then what happens is Restream automatically creates the event on LinkedIn. You don't have to go in and create a separate event. It happens in Restream. So if you're just going live, there's the studio in Restream. I'm in the studio right now, and of Restream. And so you just create your event automatically on LinkedIn. And what you'll need to focus on is when you do that in Restream, things like a thumbnail for the event are important, and connecting your channels. So, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook company page, Twitter. You can connect all these accounts to Restream so it will stream simultaneously, like I'm doing right now. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at the moment, and you connect your channels. And then the thumbnail that you create inside of Restream is the thumbnail that everybody sees on those channels, which is important. Uh, it's like your YouTube thumbnail, and that thumbnail will be up on YouTube. And so now when you stream your event through Restream, you're live everywhere. Your banner on your personal profile on LinkedIn will flip to your live show. So if you were going to my personal profile right now, my banner would be flipped with this live show. The banner inside the LinkedIn event portal also flips to the live show. So if people are pulled in there, that's where they're going to watch it. But again, LinkedIn will announce you're live to your community, your connections, and your non-first level connections, which is a new thing. And they could go watch it on your personal profile, or just somebody visiting your personal profile will see your banner. It's really, really cool. So you're streaming there, obviously YouTube, Facebook company page, or Facebook group. You're streaming there live. So it's going on, bigger audience. And what will happen then is when you end the stream, your recorded video will post to all those channels automatically. It'll stay up on YouTube, so you don't have to go and upload it. It'll stay up on Facebook. It'll stay up on LinkedIn in your news feed as a post. Then you can tag hot prospects. Hey, I just did a great live event. Check it out. People can see it. You get more eyeballs on it. And it'll stay up as a LinkedIn event unless you delete that event out of your events section on your profile. So it'll be there too. And then you can, as I said, network with people um, after after the event. So, um, uh, and then there's next level stuff you can do, which I'm not going to get into now after the event's recorded, is edit the video, create snippets, and use it for more content, repurpose the content. Repurposing a piece of content like this is huge. You can pull so much content from your show like this, which is what you have to do, into audio for podcast, uh, snippets for posting, which then revert to the main show, images, quotes, stuff that you can pull from the show. So, in summary, here, you want to create your show and understand LinkedIn events, get LinkedIn Live, do this once a month if you can. And the way you market this, three ways you can market this as you're doing it. So remember, if you pick a time and a day every month, now you can market it. Number one, you market it through the LinkedIn event feature. Remember, you're inviting first level connections to the event portal. So then you invite people, pull them in. That's the way you market it. One. Two, email nurture. That's one of my 5 foundational components, which is on the screen. Email nurture. Got to have it. Huge. And then you can invite people through email. That's 2. 3 is direct messaging to your first level connections. This is not through the event portal, because that's not a direct message. That's an event invite. You've probably seen that. You've probably been invited. DMs are different. This is direct messaging, and there's a way to scale and automate that using certain tools. So now you have that going on. So those are the 3 areas you market it, get people in. And now what are you doing? You're engaging with people. They see you're doing creative, killer stuff, and you can follow up with them. This is what I'm talking about. This is the process. Uh, Very powerful. As always, you have questions, you see this wherever you're seeing this. I repurpose this everywhere. Get in touch with me. All my contact information is around. And for sure, on the screen here, if you text Giant Help to that number, you can see the 5 foundational tools I'm all about and get a deeper dive there. And always love having you. Stay tuned. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I go live at 9 a.m. California time, and look forward to seeing you here again.